Man that helped stranded drivers for 50 years never expected to be repaid like this. But before we start, please give the video a like and make sure to subscribe to Wonderbot and hit the bell so you'll never miss any uploads from us. It happens fast. One moment you're cruising down the highway, jamming along to the radio when, a burning smell fills your nostrils. Blinker on, you pull over to the shoulder, open the hood, and now what? You have zero ideas about how to fix your car. Your best and only hope is someone driving by stops and lends a knowledgeable hand. But the people of San Diego rarely felt this way when their cars broke down. That's because they knew if car trouble befell them, there was a roadside watchman who waits on patrol. For 50 years, he volunteered to help stranded drivers, until a dark twist of fate nearly cost him everything. When Kristen Ernst was barreling down the highway, a pesky screwdriver foiled her commute plans. The air went out of her just as quickly as her deflated tire, as she found herself sitting on the side of the road next to her car. Little did Kristen know she wouldn't be waiting long. In just a matter of minutes, a savior behind the wheel of a magical white classic car pulled up beside her. With the tip of his cowboy hat, he grabbed the tire iron. In what felt like no time at all, the mysterious husky-voiced Good Samaritan had replaced the tire. Before tipping his hat to leave, he handed Kristen a business card that left her more curious about the identity of the White Knight. A card read, "Assisting you has been my pleasure. I ask for no payment other than that you pass on the favor by helping someone in distress that you may encounter." Who was this guy? What kind of person chooses to make a habit out of car trouble act of kindness? Surely a person of such high moral fiber had to have a hidden angle. Nope. Helping others came naturally to Thomas Weller. Long before this cowboy's hair turned silver, he was just an inexperienced 16-year-old driver cruising down snowy Illinois streets. He learned the hard way that he shouldn't drive during a blizzard. Thomas's car skidded into a snowbank. It was dark, temperatures were dropping, and the accumulating snow was obscuring his car from sight. He was in danger of being buried forever. Luckily, after several icy hours, a kind stranger noticed the car wedged in the snowbank and stopped to help. Together, Thomas and the stranger attached a chain to his car and pulled it free. Thomas felt compelled to thank the stranger, but he'd held his hands up in protest of a cash offer. Instead, the thoughtful stranger left him with a request that Thomas would never forget. "Pass it on when you can." Thomas repeated the words over 50 years later, and it was obvious he held that instruction with reverence, like a knight sworn an oath. Over the next half-century, Thomas lived up to his promise. Cruising the San Diego highways in his souped-up 1955 Ford station wagon, christened Beulah, Thomas surveyed the motorways for drivers in need of assistance. Since his car was far from ordinary, it resembled the notorious Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters, Thomas gained a reputation for his self-appointed guardianship of the motorways. "San Diego Highwayman" is printed on Beulah's window as well as on Thomas's hard hat. He's become a regular fixture around the crowded interstates. He's particularly well known by the close to 6,000 motorists he's estimated to have assisted. Joined by his co-pilot, a Labrador Collie mix named Sheila, he swoops in on cars lining the shoulder who might need a helping hand. Though it's a good idea to leave it up to the professionals, Thomas knows his stuff. Beulah functions as the highwayman's lair. Packed in the seatless back cab are all the essentials: a toolkit, hacksaw, crowbar, stretcher, heavy-duty jacks, and a so far unused birthing kit, among many other odds and ends. Though he stopped his EMT training just short of certification, he remained covered by the Good Samaritan law, allowing him to provide emergency care without liability. Thankfully, the average stop involves running out of gas or overheating, but sometimes situations were a little hairier. In the scariest incident, he shepherded a family away from their stalled car, then watched horrified as another vehicle crashed through the place they'd stood just seconds before. The family's car exploded, and the driver of another nearby vehicle was killed. But frequent brushes with death never kept Thomas from jumping in to assist. He'd cut back on his hours due to increasing gas prices, but didn't hang up Beulah's keys. Then, in 2011, fate hit the brakes. Beloved Beulah suffered an accident. The situation was grim. Thomas watched as his pride and joy, totaled and too expensive to repair, was loaded onto a trailer and towed off to rest peacefully in the garage. For 5 years, Beulah collected dust in a lonely garage. Thomas felt equally as shelved as his trusty steed without being able to do his life's work. "I sit home on the front porch a lot," he said. "It's killing me." But this wasn't to be his final chapter. The community who knew and loved the highwayman refused to watch him fade into the sunset. Local radio shows invited him on as a guest to share roadside rescue stories. There was even a documentary made to detail his humble service. After hearing his story on the radio, listener Rick Moore was particularly moved by the highwayman's unbridled commitment to helping others. As luck would have it, he was in a position to offer some assistance of his own. Rick, a local mechanic, decided the time had come to repay the highwayman for his service by repairing Beulah for free. "You've got people who help out here and there," he said, "but 50 years? Who does something like that for 50 years consistently?" Finally, Rick was able to give the highwayman a long overdue thank you from all the San Diego motorists. The gesture moved the stoic cowboy to tears. "In the 49 years that I've been doing what I do, I've learned that a lot of people's intentions are good, but not everybody follows through," Thomas said. He swallowed the lump in his throat, trying to express his gratitude. Rick pulled into the driveway of the highwayman's roost. Yes, that really is the name of Thomas's house. While waiting in the driveway for the return of his noble steed, Robert's tears started flowing. Marveling at how the classy chassis had been returned to her former glory, the highwayman wrapped Rick in an emotional hug. Rick told Thomas thanks wasn't necessary. He was just following in the highwayman's footsteps. Thomas, humble as ever, shrugged. His voice breaking with emotion, he read the motto engraved on a crystal kept on the dash. "If I cannot do great things, I'll do small things in a great way." At the end, we want to know your opinion about the story in the comments box below.